Wiggity, what up, y'all? It's Whatchu Spinnin, episode 107. I'm Dorian, that's Matt, and that's Jake. It's a damn good day. I can tell it's great where Jake is. He's got a nice mop of hair on his head. He's looking good. Matt's looking good and beautiful and bald as ever, just like myself. Danzig. We are tuning in to each other from our respective homes. We've got three fantastic albums to talk about today. Some more recent, some a little older, but it's all going to be stuff that you're going to love. I guarantee it. But Matt and Jake, how you guys doing?
Good.
Doing good.
Haven't been
Hell
better. I
yeah.
woke up this morning and to the awesome news that City beat Liverpool 4-0. That's the best way to wake up. Uh, Made some breakfast, kind of hung out this morning, listening to music, kicking back. So, yeah, no complaints over here.
Nice.
Heck yeah.
Nice. Matt, what about you?
I feel like when we do our in-person podcast and we go see Jake, that we should go to that card shop and buy our boxes there,
Oh
right?
yeah.
And then
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, cool. Things are
absolutely.
good. Yeah, things are good. Been listening to a lot of random music this week, all over the place. Introduced Crosby to Nirvana a little bit this week, which he was like hit miss, but that's all right.
Hey, he's about that age that when I got into him. So
And then
you're doing it right.
I was on YouTube because I'm on there pretty much nightly watching random weird videos. But that Rick Beato guy that we watch that brings up, different musicians and interviews, things like that. He brought up this band. I don't know if they're French, but they're called Angine de Portine. And it's two
I've
dude, okay, there's
yeah.
two people, they have this weird
With the,
costume, and they
yep.
sound like Primus, but like no lyrics, and it's very like just off key and very, very weird, but I kept listening to it. It was groovy. So
Hell yeah. No,
anyway,
I've seen those guys on Reels and on YouTube and shit. They're
yeah,
fucking fire. I'm
they're
It
hilarious.
was one like I could never remember the name, so I've never brought him up, but that's hell yeah, dude. Those guys are crazy.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. I heard that at work. Like I saw it looking through YouTube at work and I listened to it. It's fucking good.
Hell yeah. Um, Anybody listening to anything cool lately? Or no, you kind of just said that, Matt. Jake, what about
Kind of all
you?
over the place. Yeah.
Yeah.
I did listen to Elucid's new album. I think it's called
Oh,
You
is that
Had to
new?
Be There or something. That album's good. Definitely good. I almost ordered it on vinyl, probably will soon. That album's good. Listening to Billy Woods, listening to Hiding Places made me go back to his catalog. Listening to a lot of History Will Absolve Me. That album's fucking insane.
Incredible.
Yeah.
And Kokoroko, they made a new EP, new three-track EP that's really solid. I've been listening to that too.
Hell yeah. I've been kind of all over the place as well. As y'all know, I'll plug it again at the end of the show, but uh prepping for that gig with Truffle Jam in May. So been listening to a good amount of Fish and some of the more dead stuff that I've already been like learning parts of on guitar. That's like a bad habit I have is like I like a cool part from any song and I'm like, I'll learn this and then nothing else. And then I get to these jam sessions and I'm like, I can do that. And then 7 minutes later I have to do something else. So that's been really fun. I'm really stoked for that show. Um I've been kind of going back because like everyone on social media was doing like it's 2016 or 2026. What'd you look like in 2016? And I didn't participate in that trend. But I've been listening to music that I was either listening to in 2016 or had come out. So I've been kind of getting back into like Black Hippie, that TDE, super group, Earth Gang, fucking Hiatus Coyote I spun the other day, like just kind of
I
going
forgot about
back.
those
Like I don't
guys. But
yeah.
yeah.
Like when it comes springtime, like I have a weird thing. Like anytime it comes springtime, I get very nostalgic for like music from periods of my life. It's like very strange. I don't know. Um, and so I was doing that, and then the past 2 days, I don't know what made me think of it, but there's a song from School of Rock. It's a Ramones track that they used called Bonzo Goes to Bitburg, and it's just such a fucking banger. I'll send it to y'all. I'm not a huge Ramones guy, but I found that song from School of Rock because I'm a huge fan of that movie. And yeah, man, this song fucking rips. So I'll send that to y'all for sure. Um, but yeah, that's kind of what I've been listening to. Shall we dive in?
I think so. Yeah.
Coolio
I was going to
Julio.
share something too. My buddy
Please.
Marv, you know Marv Ellis. He has a new album coming out here in about a month or so, and I let him know about the podcast. It's like, do you guys want to like introduce my album? So I'm gonna pick that album up when he gives me the okay, and we'll like kind of showcase it, and that'll be my pick for that week. So just wanted to share.
Nice. Yes,
Oh
please.
yeah.
If you is he doing vinyl presses or CD or what?
Just CDs.
Let me know. I'll send you some money if you want to snag me a copy.
Yeah.
I followed him on Instagram after the card show, and he like posted something this week of it, and I was like, dude, the beats that he's working with are fucking crazy. I literally commented, I was like, Jesus Christ, man. I was like, I need you. I was like, I can't wait for this shit to come out.
Yeah, he's been doing
So
it a
that's
while.
cool.
He's got his craft down, and it's not for everybody, but it's local. It's hip hop. It's
Yeah.
it's
It's
good. It's good music.
Yeah. Well, and it's like it is not for everybody. I would agree with that,
Yep.
but it's like if you grew up in Eugene and all that shit, he it's like yes.
Hmm.
Like, every area has its own like sound, especially when it comes to hip hop, and I think Marv does a very good job of like a local representation and like makes you think about Eugene and shit like that. And he's not just rapping about the Ducks or whatever, but it's like
Right.
I don't know. You get what I'm saying.
Yeah, I hear
Jake,
you.
we'll give it a listen, obviously. But
Yeah, I'll listen to it.
shout out Marv.
Yeah,
Fucking
listen to his stuff on Spotify. All of his albums are on there. Yeah.
yeah. And I think isn't that album gonna have like 20 something songs on
Yeah.
it? Yeah.
Yeah. And
It's gonna be a
some of the songs I've heard relate to like the hobby of trading cards. And like, he like spins
hey.
his rides in there. It's really cool. It's really cool.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Yeah. Great guy. Had a blast hanging out with him on Saturday. I told Matt he was fucking cracking me up. I was doing like the fucking stuff. We're sitting next to each other. I was like, Marv, shut the fuck up.
You can't say
Um,
that. You can't say that to people. Yeah.
literally just quick story. We're at this card show and this guy, people would end up coming back to our table. And it was these young kids. He was talking to them. They went to Sheldon. I think they played like basketball for Sheldon or something. They end up coming back by the table and they were talking about buying one of Marv's cards. Great name for a card shop, by the way.
Ooh,
I
yeah.
have to get 20% of all profits now
Yeah.
because I came up with it. But and it's on air. So
Yeah.
but anyway, this guy ends up coming back and Marv, before the guy even gets fully to the table, just says, "Hey, what's up, man? You finally realize who I am?" And I was like, Jesus.
I didn't hear
Because
that. That's
yeah,
hilarious.
because he was using his legal name. So and then like he came back and he's like, "Oh, so you finally put two and two together as to who I am?" And I fucking lost it. I was talking to a guy, to like a kid and his dad, and I was just like, Jesus fucking Christ, Marv. What, did you finally realize? Basically, what he was saying is, you realize I'm a local legend? Yeah, all right. Jesus
That's
Christ.
hilarious.
Shout out. We'll have to get him on the pod if we
Yeah.
one of these times we do it in person just to pick his brain.
Right.
Um, but fuck yeah, man. All right. I think that's a good start. That's a good way to go into today's content. It's what you spend in episode 107. Go ahead and hop into the time machine with us. We're going to go back to 1972 for Jake's pick to kick things off. I'm looking forward to it, and by golly, you better be too. We'll be right back. It's what you spend. Okay, y'all. It's about damn time that we start off today's content, and boy howdy, I'm excited to start off with this one. It's kind of it's a fun one in a lot of ways, but I don't want to steal his thunder. So Jake, why don't you go ahead and let the people know what we're talking about?
Yeah, don't steal my thunder, man. Come on. I've been waiting for this. This being Herbie Hancock Crossings. I came out in 72. I picked this up one of the last couple of times I went into Eugene at Moonrock Records. Shout out. Uh, They have a pretty solid jazz
Mhm.
section, so definitely go check it out. It's pretty good. But every time I go up to any record store, I'll look for a couple things. Freddie McGregor, Headhunters that Dorian has back there, some other stuff. And looking through it, I found this, and one of the other people there at the shop, like just a other customer, like peeks over from like the other side of the wall. He's like, "Is that crossings?" I was like, I think." He's like, "Oh, are you getting that?" I was like, I might." He's like, "Oh, it's pretty good." I was like, "What era is it?" He's like, "Oh, it's like the Wandishi era or whatever, which is like a couple years before Headhunters, and it's almost like the same band, the same group." So he's like, "Yeah, if you like Headhunters, you'll like that." Boom. Done. So I bought it, listened to it. It's an awesome listen. Very experimental, very electronic, synthy. There's a lot of synths, a lot of experimentation with jazz. It's not your ordinary jazz album for sure, especially for Herbie Hancock. So I was super excited when I picked this up and to show it off. So yeah, what did you guys think about it?
That album cover alone is just priceless. It feels like a Game of Thrones like alter like just futuristic kind of weird. And it's from 1972 or whatever the year is. It's crazy. Like I've said before with Herbie Hancock, a lot of his music or a lot of the jazz music is in Homeland, the series. So it just brought me back to that again. And this album's great. It's three quick tracks, not quick, but they're a little long. And he just showcases his talent. He's so good. I think a lot of people that aren't into Herbie Hancock would start with Headhunters and then maybe transition into this one, but a great pick, man. I'm really glad you brought this up. I'm gonna try to find this on vinyl if I can, but like you said, it's pretty popular. I'm surprised that guy didn't jack you to try to get it from you, but
Yeah. Yeah, that guy almost put his keys through his fist and
he's like, is
used
that
them as
crossing? Is
Wolverine claws.
that crossings? Yeah.
Yeah. Can't say I haven't been there myself, seeing somebody leave a record store with something. But yeah, Matt, you put it perfectly. I'm gonna try to snag this too, because as we all know, 1970 to 1975 Herbie Hancock is incredible. His entire career is phenomenal, but that 5 year span, this guy was cooking. Probably because he was, I mean, I did find out that, like during that time, like when Headhunters was getting popular, he was doing a lot of crack cocaine. So
Oh, okay.
I was like, what is this? I'm like, this guy's a
Really?
mastermind.
I would never have thought that. That's okay.
Yeah, yeah. Um,
Well,
and
that's why it's only three tracks, because they're just like
yeah,
speed.
yeah. I mean, listen to Sleeping Giant, and you're like, oh, absolutely, yeah. These guys are out of their skulls. No, that's just a funny fact I found. It's in I can't remember the guy's name, but another fact that I found in doing this was the guy who does like the Moog and synth sounds on this was originally brought into the studio to help Herbie Hancock set up his Moog. And in doing that, he was like kind of fucking around with it, obviously. And Herbie was like, "No, why don't you just like stick around and record the Moog part with us?"
Okay.
And so all that synth stuff is that guy.
Patrick
And
Gleason is his name. Patrick Gleason.
yes, thank you.
Mhm.
Uh, and so that is just so cool. Like, can you imagine just being like, oh yeah, this guy, like, or Herbie Hancock needs help, just being in the studio, and then I'll just fuck around, obviously, because as you're setting stuff up, you test it. And the guy's just like, yeah, you want to, Herbie's just like, yeah, come on the album. It's like, Jesus Christ, like that's the best day of work you have in your
Yeah,
entire
The
life.
Moog that just came out, like that's like
Hmm.
brand new. Like, yeah,
Yeah,
pre-gig.
yeah,
Like, yeah, this is huge. Yeah.
yeah. So that's awesome. And this is like you said, I think that this came out in 1972, Headhunters came out the next year. And this was kind of the end of the Mwandishi era for Herbie Hancock, which was, that's kind of it's crazy to me, or I think it's how do I phrase this? I love when an artist's career is so massive and, has expanded so many years and explored so many different sounds that you can say, oh yeah, this is his blah 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 era. It's like
Yeah.
who does like how many of those can you like are there? So yeah, Jake, like you said, he took most of the musicians from this and formed Headhunters. And I love because it's like, we've talked about it multiple times on this podcast. You can kind of see where things are about to go. And this album is like very much one part is in this previous era, and then the other half is just like very much leaning toward headhunters, water torture. They're like the fifth part of Sleeping Giant, gets very headhuntery. Um, and yeah, like y'all said, fucking 3 songs, man. Crazy. Sleeping Giant is like 15 songs in and of itself. So yeah, I'm very impressed by this album. I think it's great, and you know, just just goes to support my point that I've been making that like, now you've got Crossings, then Headhunters, then Thrust. This guy was on a fucking tear in the 70s, man. One of the best to ever do it.
Oh yeah. No, the build up to this too is really interesting because you kind of see the growth that he does, not only him, but the other people that work with him that he partners with in the bands that he does. Because, when you think of Herbie Hancock, you think of like your classic atypical jazz musician, like one of the forefathers, one of the bigger names in jazz, and a lot of people think of like Imperial Isles, like that's one of his more iconic
Yeah.
classic jazz albums that I think we mentioned before on the pod.
Yeah,
But
like
this is
80
like,
episodes ago.
yeah, this is like completely different. This is totally like just experimentation, 25-minute songs, 3 tracks, just a bunch of different moving parts, a lot of experimentation with a Moog, something new that not a lot of people are using, and just kind of finding out how to use it, how it works. A lot of really interesting types of playing also, like the flutter trumpet, like the air trumpet that they do. Benny Maupin, he's the sax player that also plays for Headhunters. Just seeing the evolution of different eras, how you go from doing something so classic, typical jazz to like this completely different experimental, very
Absolutely.
out there, kind of like what Miles Davis was doing also at the time.
Sure.
So it just paved the way for making jazz and kind of just twisting it, having it be a different flavor, a different sound for jazz music.
Yeah. Like each track, the Sleeping Giant specifically, like it goes all over the place. And I love Herbie Hancock and how he does that with each album. And I feel like if you know jazz music, you're going to recognize Herbie Hancock right off the bat. And this album showcases all that right there.
Yeah, absolutely. And Jake, you put it perfectly. Like Empyrean Isles is like one of those. It came out in what, like the mid 60s or something like that. It's one of
Mhm.
those um staple jazz albums, and it's a night and day comparison going from Empyrean Isles to Crossings to Thrust to all of these albums that came out barely 10 years later. And the thing is, the thing about it is, right, is Jake, you put it perfectly, like Empyrean Isles leans more traditional jazz, right? And then as he gets into the 70s, he kind of, after being one of the, Mount Rushmore jazz musicians in the 60s, he then becomes one of the pioneers of jazz fusion, which would then go on to spawn a litany of artists and movements and everything. And outside of the fact that he, started these huge movements or became a very prominent figure in these genres, he was a fucking crazy, he's not dead, thank God. He's an insane piano player, obviously, like we all know that. But like we talk about Sleeping Giant a couple of times already, the way that he composes songs is nuts. Like I listened to Sleeping Giant like 2 times in a row today. It's a 25-minute song. Just because I was trying to figure out, I was like, because I didn't want to miss anything. And it's such an interesting track, and it really is what made me think. I'm like, this guy's a fucking composer. Like, this guy's not just making jazz music anymore. I'm like, this guy is making uh, a silent movie that you don't need to watch anything for. Like, it's very hard to explain like why
Mhm.
I'm now like listening to this album made me be like, oh, Herbie Hancock's one of the greatest fucking musicians that's still alive. Like hands like bar none. Uh just because of all of those things combined. So yeah, I was literally like flabbergasted this morning. I was like, this album's fucking crazy. Like I had listened to it at work and at home a couple of times, but like I actually sat down and wanted to listen, and do my notes. And I was like, my eyes were just wide the entire time. I was just like, what the fuck is going on, man? And then, obviously with me, I like practiced with some of the guys from Truffle Jam on Thursday night and we played, Watermelon Man and Chameleon. And I'm like, even a year, like it's still night and day, like fucking crazy, man. So shout out Herbie. Like I said, one of the best to ever do it and to continue to do it. The guy's on tour right now. Crazy.
Yeah. I was gonna say, yeah, he's still doing shows, he's still touring, and every show that he does like he'll bring out like the best, newest, like up and coming jazz musician in the world. Like it's
Yeah,
that's what he does. He's been doing this for decades. So I'm just glad that we're able to still continue to listen to his music and that he's still able to do shows and stuff. If he ever comes to anywhere in Oregon or California, I'm probably gonna try to go because
yeah,
it's insane. But yeah, it's you said it perfectly, Dorian. It's almost like it's like world building with his music. Like it
a
just
hundred percent.
it's just like so just out there. It's like the songs like Sleeping Giant, it just takes you on a whole journey. Like you're just along for the ride the whole time. Quasar also it feels like you're like a spaceship gliding through the galaxy. Like it's otherworldly music, honestly. Like I have no other way to put it. It's not your atypical jazz. So if you're wanting to get something into a little bit more different, more out there, more experimental, this is probably the album for you. And any of the other albums in this era. Sextant also is a fantastic album. Um,
Incredible album.
yeah, so there's definitely a lot to go on about this. Sadly, there's only three tracks, but those three tracks are jam-packed. So,
Yeah.
yeah, there's a lot to go on about, but it's yeah, definitely give it a listen if you haven't yet.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, when we talk about eras of Herbie Hancock and eras of jazz in general, the Mondishi era and the Headhunters era, those are like his two most prominent and two of the most prominent jazz eras because you're talking about, the 60s into the mid 70s. So of jazz entirely. So yeah, please give this a listen. And he has such an extensive catalog. We've covered 3 albums now, and we're like, we could dedicate the next 20 episodes to Herbie Hancock and probably still have a couple left over.
Yeah.
So shout out to him. Jake, kind of sounds like you're trying to land the plane. Should we top three it up?
Yeah, let's. I'll start it off. No honorable mention. There's only three tracks. Um, so number three for me, Quasar. Love that track. It's one of the shorter ones, I think, on the album. I'm not too sure. They're all like
Yeah.
20 minutes long, but it's awesome. There's a lot of really cool effects, really cool Moog effects on that song. Number two, Water Torture. It gives me almost like that, like a 007 feel, like a spy movie kind of feel at certain points of it.
Yeah.
Um, and then Sleeping Giant. That's my favorite track. Like I don't even know you could make that sound with the sax or have a flute sound like that. Like it's crazy.
Heck yeah.
Hell yeah.
Uh, yeah, I love the Quasar. That's just a crazy name for a track. Kind of reminisces of like a black hole, supermassive black hole kind of reference there. I love that. 'Cause I'm an astronomy nerd. Anyways, getting off topic. Three,
It's
two, one.
UAPs. It's all UAPs,
It's
man.
all that. That is my favorite track was Quasar. I just love the way it's kind of spacey and like just all over the place. Like there's no rhyme or reason, but it flows and it works. Number two, Sleeping Giant, probably the longest track we've ever covered on a podcast, I would say. And then Water Torture, of course, number three. So great pick. Again, I'm gonna look for this on vinyl and hopefully pick it up at some point.
Hail yeah. Number 3 for me is Quasar. Like y'all said, very spacey, very Galaga-esque.
Yeah, there we go. Galaga.
Hmm Also, I wanted to make a comparison. Y'all remember Kieran, that album I brought up? I can't remember the fella's name, but the Japanese episode.
Yeah.
Some of the sounds on this were very Kieran-esque.
Hmm.
Um, I'm actually my plan tonight is to make myself some chicken pitas and spin Kieran because I haven't listened to that in a while. It's a great album. Number 2 for me, Sleeping Giant. Like I said, man, just holy shit. Like literally, if you want a testament as to why this guy is one of the greatest to ever do it. Listen to Sleeping Giant. And the number one for me is Water Torture. Uh, really liked that you could tell where Herbie was about to go and where this group was about to go with the music. Water Torture reminded me a lot of Vein Melter off of Headhunters, just kind of like this stripped down drum beat to start it off and everything. So yeah, Water Torture is my favorite. Hell yeah, yeah. And that was our first pick of the day. Such a banger. Crossings by Herbie Hancock, which was Jake's pick for this week, released in the great year of 1972. There's a lot of good shit going on that year. Go ahead and listen to it. If you're a fan of this podcast, you already know that one of our favorite albums that has ever been brought up came out in 1972. And I think this gets added to that list. So yeah, go ahead and stick around. We're going to go ahead and fast forward ourselves to 2019.
18, I think.
Uh, We'll
I
figure
don't
it out.
remember.
We're going to
We'll figure it
project
out.
ourselves into the last 6, 7 years and talk about my pick for this week. It's What You Spin in episode 107. I'm Dorian. That's Matt. And that's Jake. We will be right back with you. Stick around. It's time to get down to business. We're about to talk about a favorite album of ours. We've mentioned this in passing a lot. I think we've quoted lyrics from it a lot. Um, we've talked about this guy a lot. I don't think we're quite done talking about him either. I think this is one that like breaks the rule or like our unspoken, like, oh, we don't want to bring up more than 3 albums by an artist. There's a couple of exceptions that I think we all have in our back pocket, and I think each of us have at least this one. And that's my album. I actually didn't look up what year it came out. I think it's 2019, but I just want to be
You
sure.
are correct, sir. You are correct.
Yep, so March of 2019, so officially almost what, 7 years old? Jesus Christ. Just barely turned 7 years old. That album is Hiding Places by Billy Woods and Kenny Segal. It just I don't want to get into it too quick so that way you guys can give your thoughts. But yeah, man, I'm glad that I was the one that got to bring this up for my first Billy Woods pick because I think this is my favorite solo project of his. But yeah, Hiding Places, Billy Woods and Seagull, 2019.
I'm too excited to talk, Jake. You can start because I don't even.
Um, okay, yeah. I mean, it's it's definitely I feel like one of his more well respected albums in the rap community. Billy Wood's catalog is, insane as is by itself. But this one definitely I feel like it's a lot more accessible. It's a lot easier to listen to. It's not super long. It's not super short. And it's with a pretty well-known producer. And it's really just like the most pure form of Billy Woods, as far as rapping and goes. Lyrically, I think he's, at a good point also in his career because he's also been rapping like since early 2000s. So he's been around for a long time. And it's one of those that it's at a good point in his career to release something like this where you know, he's got so much history, so much back catalog that leading up, this is a good point in his career where he made this and it was well received by everybody. But yeah, I mean, we went to the show last year or 2 years ago. I don't remember when that was. 2 years ago, right? Yeah, we went to this show, this anniversary show 2 years ago, and yeah, we got to see a lot of these songs be performed, and it's even better live. There's so much emotion that he gives when he performs. He's so emotional. He's almost like, mad. He's almost like upset when he's rapping at certain points, like super in the zone with it. Songs like Houthi, that chorus just gets stuck in your head.
Oh my God.
Uh,
I get chills every time I think about
yeah,
seeing that live because all 3 of us and everybody in the crowd was just like, you just might get it.
yeah.
Like,
So like and he's got some of his bigger songs on here too. Songs like SpongeBob, like Spider Hole, like they're pretty well known in the underground. But this album is solid. I also have a lot of appreciation for it. It's one of my favorite albums of his for sure. So yeah, I mean, I can keep going. I'll put the brakes on for a little bit.
Yeah. It's hard not to gush over our favorite artist on this podcast. I feel like Billy Woods is definitely taken the throne and he's our favorite to talk about. And that's why we continue to bring up albums that he's released, whether it's solo or Arm& Hammer-esque. And this is my starting point. This is like after listening to Maps and kind of getting into Billy Woods, this is where I went back to, kind of gravitated towards. And the first three tracks on this album, SpongeBob, Steak Knives, and then Checkpoints, it's like Steak Knives itself is a 2-minute track and it's hilarious. It takes a little bit of his style, throws a little bit of Outcast in there, and it like combines the two elements and makes it a great track. Love that track. And for me, like all of these tracks stand out really well because he's so lyrical. Like this is like Billy Woods dialing down how hip hop should be. This is 7 years old. If this was put out today, this is better than anything out today, honestly. The way he is
Yeah.
able to relate his life experiences and what he's gone through and put him into like a hip hop format. I don't know anybody that does it better. And it's really cool to be able to listen to him and appreciate him. And I'm glad we brought this album up because again, this is my one of my gems for Billy Woods, and I'm excited to talk about it. And those first three tracks just set the bar. Big Fake Laugh, one of my favorite tracks. Like he's just so lyrical, and I think a lot of people that love hip hop should just give us a chance. Your mind's gonna be blown, and then you're gonna go, what else does he have? And you're gonna be blown even more because he's got Arm& Hammer, he's got other albums. So again, glad you brought this up. Yeah, I could gush and go over, like Jake said, we can just keep kissing his ass. Billy, you want to come on the podcast and hang out? Let's do it.
Yeah. Come on, man. Literally referenced when Matt and I had that card show, he had his Venmo on a QR code like printed out. And I was like, oh, I should have done that. And he said, oh, are you like, he started to ask if I needed any help with it. And I was like, no, actually, a man by the name of William Woods taught me how to handle this situation because I'll just have him scan my phone. And he said he did in fact teach you that. So, yeah, shout out to that. But yeah, man, I mean, starting off those three beginning tracks, man, and then even into Spider Hole, and it's the way that this album's laid out is so interesting to me, right? Because SpongeBob is just an absolute banger. It's, one of the few music videos that he has. And then you go into Steak Knives, which, like you said, is hilarious in its own right, but also it's just so short and sweet. And then you get into Checkpoints, and it's like, oh, here's Spider Hole. And it's like, you're like, oh, maybe because SpongeBob is my favorite track out of those three original or starting ones. And you're like, okay, like we'll see where the album goes. And then Spider Hole comes in, and then Houthi, and then A Day and a Week, and it's just like, holy shit! Right when I try to leave, they bring me back in, or whatever the fucking line is. Um, but I mean, good God, dude. It's such an introspective album for him. I feel like, maybe now that he put out Gollywog, like maybe that might be considered more. I think that deals with a lot of more just like general heavy issues, but this one, like, he won't perform Red Dust. Like, I've looked into it. He will not perform it live because those are real stories about real people that he knows. Like, it's crazy how like deep some of this goes. I've cried to Red Dust and A Day and a Week in a Year. When he played it live, I was like holding back tears. Um, and Jake, you said it perfectly. Like when he performs some of these songs live, he does have like a more aggression to his voice. So, like that careful what you ask for, you might just get it. But then like having him basically yell the words to Day and a Week, I'm like, oh my God, man. Like I've like driven home like pissed or sad and just needed, I don't know, like yelling along to songs in the car is a very cathartic experience for me. If my therapy wasn't so cheap, I'd probably stop it and do that instead because it's about the same amount of release. Obviously I'm kidding, but yeah, man, to so many of these songs, today I like went on a beer run and I was listening to Hiding Places and I was like doing the you blah, blah. I was a rapper in the car, man. Like I was just getting it. So while this album is super introspective, like you listen to it, it kind of does have like an empowering kind of feel to it. Because and you can tell that he's spitting from the heart, just like every album we've talked about of his. Again, Jake, you mentioned it, like you were listening to this and it made you go back down his catalog. I was listening to a lot of this week and a lot of fucking Ethiops, man. Like just the man does not miss. And it's quite impressive. But yeah, I think this album will always hold a special place in my heart. I think this album is the sole reason why Billy Woods keeps being in my top five for Spotify Wrapped is because I just listen. I'll just play this album and just let it eat while I do shit or drive or whatever. So I love this album, obviously.
Yeah. And I mean the beats on it too, it's so Billy Woods, so Kenny Segal. Like I there's a lot of like electric guitar on this all throughout it. Songs like Speak Gently,
Use
like
a
you
scab.
yeah, like you hear that guitar and it's like not at all gentle, or songs like Crawl Space where it has that cool like back and forth
Oh my
weird
God.
reversal and a beat switch in between. I love Elucid's
Mhm.
lyrics on that. The first line is hilarious and then he it just builds from there.
What
So
what what's the lyric? It's this
It's
beat sound like 1,700 black kids jumping off a P-14 bus like a
yeah,
Universal Circus clown car.
yeah.
yeah, yes,
Yeah, something like that.
I'm
It,
white
it
lucid, all right?
yeah.
it's insane. It's insane. I love that song. And yeah, hearing that live is just, you know, like when you've been listening to an album for so long, you have so much appreciation for it. It just moves you. It's just crazy. Yeah, I remember when we like initially were bringing up the idea of a podcast and we brought up Haram and we talked about it so much. And I was like, you guys got to listen to Hiding Places. You got to do it. You got to do it. And here we are. So yeah, it's definitely one of my favorite albums. I'm so stoked that they did a repress for it because I was not gonna blow $300 on an album. Might, but definitely not. So them doing a repress for this for the fans, like this is what we wanted. This is what we wanted. So fantastic album.
Yeah, I think
Absolutely.
us being fortunate enough to see him live and seeing these tracks perform live, and like you said, Dorian, with his heart and his emotion just pouring out and just
Bitch, you
spoken
gonna die
word,
in this heart.
right? I mean, because sometimes there's not, he's a cappella pretty much the whole time, even when the music's going, and a lot of love for Kenny Siegel too. Like, I think when they were making this album, once they recorded SpongeBob, they kind of found the direction this album was going to go. And Kenny Siegel, without his music, his like stuff, like it's a different album. So they're coming together, being able to collaborate and doing their thing is an amazing treat for us to listen to. And if anybody has not listened to Billy Woods, this is your starting point. This will take you to places you've never been with hip hop. So enjoy it.
Yeah.
You're welcome. Thank you,
Yeah.
boys, for introducing me to him because it's been the
Absolutely.
biggest artist that's come into my life in the last 5 years,
Yeah.
to be honest. Like there's not been anybody else. It's been a lot of the same things, and you guys brought me this album and this artist, and it's great. So thank you.
Yeah,
Of
I
course.
wish I could listen to this album for the first time
Oh
again.
my
Like that'd
God,
be
dude.
what a treat.
Stupid.
Mhm.
My head would fly off. I'd be Ichabod Crane for the rest of my life as fucking headless horseman, dude. Um, but no, Matt, I know like we've told the story a bunch on here, but that will still be one of my favorite stories, like pod related, is when you sent us maps the day it dropped. You're like,
Mhm.
I just found this guy. This guy just dropped today. And
You guys are like, what?
I was
Yeah.
like,
You're like
don't.
rookie. Yeah, get out of
I
here.
was like, you don't even fucking know what you're about to get into, man.
Yeah.
And I was barely into the journey myself. So I was like, dude, I'm barely into it and I'm already overwhelmed in the best way possible. But yeah, I didn't give Kenny his flowers and I was actually thinking about this today. Kenny Siegel, like a lot of these guys just make beats, right? A lot of these producers, their knowledge is like they understand instruments and stuff, and there is a lot of that kind of stuff that comes into beat making, whether you're entry level or advanced. But these guys like fucking Kenny Siegel, especially, and The Alchemist is another one of these guys, Madlib, they understand music as a whole, leaps and bounds above what a lot of these other guys do. Right. Like Hit Boy, some of these guys, like their beat placements might be super nice, like their drum beats and everything. But Kenny Siegel, like we've said, makes these again like kind of more composed pieces with, live guitars, uh we talked about it like steak knives, I think that no, Speak Gently is the one I'm thinking of with that bow now now like that super heavy
Hmm.
guitar riff, and then you go and listen to Maps, and there's songs like Soft Landing where these guitar parts are super intricate to the point where I'm still trying to fucking figure out what is going on.
Mhm.
SpongeBob, that bass line is super fun. I literally play that anytime I'm at a jam, just like I'm like, oh, is my bass in tune? Boo, boo, doo, doo. Like, so he's top notch. He looks past, he sees kind of, for lack of a better analogy, he sees the forest for the trees when it comes to these songs because he knows he's dealing with a lyrical mastermind. And so he's like, oh shit, I got to step up my stuff. And they're so good to the point where I'm like, I need instrumentals of hiding places, Maps, like I need these in my life. So yeah, Billy Woods, fantastic. Kenny Segal, equally as fantastic. Uh, but let's go ahead and put this bird on the ground and do top threes. What do y'all say?
Yeah, because we're gonna just keep talking about it like
Oh yeah,
it,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We got to stop at some point. Honorable mention for me is Houthi. Uh, just incredible. The opening lyric, stood pooled in porch light, cut my shadow off with a dull knife. Like,
Mhm.
Yeah.
what are we? That's that's the start of that song. And just the lyricism on that's crazy. The beat is super catchy, just an earworm of a track. Number three for me is Red Dust. Hard for me not to listen to that song and like not get emotional. Not like to the point where I'm crying, but just like I'll listen to that song and like halfway through it, I'll just be like, fuck, man. Like literally, like anytime I listen to it. And then number two for me is Crawl Space. That beat switch is fucking disgusting. And from that second half of that song is crazy. That guitar riff underneath, Billy's raps, abandoned mansion squat in a basement apartment, like good God, man. This album lives just rent free in my head. And then number one for me is Toothy. Just an incredible song. One that I got into certainly the more I listen to this album. Again, another great opening line. It's Halloween on Christmas. Just make sure the mask fit. Eyes glittering through the eye holes. Exchange gifts. Like some crazy shit, man. Like incredible song. So yeah, Toothy's my favorite.
Yeah. For me, I share a lot of similarities, but some different. This whole album, I could name any song any day of the week. It's different. But for now, recently, I've been honorable mention for me. I have two. Speak Gently. That guitar riff was really doing it for me. And then A Day and a Week and a Year. That song, it's like the gentle little like piano or harp, whatever it is. It's just it's beautiful. And it kind of shows a different side of this album for being a different song. But for me, number three, Big Fake Laugh, really was liking that song these last couple weeks. It feels like such a menacing beat. Like it's like, crawling on your skin almost. Number two, Houthi. I always just picture and reminisce that show, just shouting the lyrics out with everybody else in this little shoebox of a studio. And then number one, Crawl Space. That's always been my favorite song on this album. I love the lyrics. I love the beat. I love the fusion of Lucid and Billy. Just everything about it is perfect.
Hell
There's
yeah.
so many quotable lyrics on this album, you know. Two versions every story. This is America, not for the weaker of stomach. I mean, Jesus
Mhm.
Christ, Hollywoods. It's hard to wrap my head around the top three, but here we go. Number or honorable mention for me, Steak Knives, real quick, 2 minute song. Does it justice. I like the Outcast comparison there. Number three, A Day in a Week and a Year. That's my emotional track right there. Like that gets me going. Pretended like I was really playing, like fuck, man.
Oh
We've all
yeah.
been there, video game or not. Fuck.
Hmm.
SpongeBob is number two because starting the album off that way just sets the tone, and from there it just gets better. And then my favorite song on this album was Big Fake Laugh. It's just that's the one for me. As simple as it is, it just has everything. It has my Billy Woods hip hop rhyme and everything in between. So.
Incredible.
Mhm.
Yeah, just to tie back to Day in a Week and a Year, because I forgot to mention this, that was one of the more interesting songs that we saw live. Because if y'all remember, like chord got like Billy stepped on the chord for Kenny Segal's board or something. And so like we got the last half of that verse, that like second verse, just a cappella.
Mhm.
And it was fucking crazy. I have the video and it literally goes up until that point. And I'm like, fuck, I wish I would have recorded. But yeah, man. Just an incredible, incredible album. Even songs like Bedtime that we didn't really talk about. Uh, just crazy, man. There's so many just one-liners that I think of on the daily. Uh, and if so, what? You get what you paid for in the end. Um, and literally, I have random lyrics written on the back of my notebook here, and one of them is "Careful what you ask for, you just might get it." But that was "Hiding Places" by Billy Woods Kenny Segal, released in 2019, which was my pick for this week. This beautiful episode 107 of Whatchu Spinnin. If it's sunny when this comes out, go ahead and take your dog on a walk or just take your own ass on a walk and listen to this segment and then go ahead and listen to Hiding Places. And by golly, we all said it. This is a good entry point. Literally, if you want to get into Billy Woods, listen to Hiding Places and Maps and then go from there. That's my roadmap. Because Jesus Christ, they're peanut butter and jelly, in my opinion. But we're going to go ahead and move on so we can wrap this bitch up and send it to the goddamn moon with Matt's pick for this week, which is definitely a genre change for the most part, but one that I'm very, very interested in talking about. I had a blast listening to this. Go ahead and stick around. It's What You Spinning, episode 107. I'm Dorian. That's Matt, and that's Jake. We appreciate you sticking around. Smooches. What up, y'all? It's been a hell of an episode, and it's only going to keep going on that same track. We've already talked about Jake's pick. We've already talked about my pick. Now it's time to talk about Matt's, and his is from pretty recent, but it's just as good as the other two. And I'm equally as excited to talk about it, if not more. So, Matt, why don't you go ahead and let the beautiful people know what's coming?
The beautiful people, the beautiful people. Yes, here we go. A band that I just stumbled across recently, brand new to me, but this is their third album and it just stuck. It reminded me of Al Jorgensen and Ministry and punk rock and like Machine Girl. It just had all these different elements of things we've talked about on the podcast, so I felt it appropriate to bring it up now, even though it's new to me. This is an album that was released in September of 2025. And it's called Tomorrow We Escape by the band Horror. Spelled a little bit differently, but really cool band. Again, unique, different in what they do. A real fun listen. And start to finish, it has everything you want. It's got the guitar, it's got the drums, it's got the sampling, it's got hip hop. What do you guys think?
Yeah, interesting. I was based off of the intro that you gave it last episode. I
Mhm.
was very interested to see what this album sounded like and what these guys sounded like. Because as I said when you introduced it, it's a name I had seen on festival lineups. I think they did Knotfest with Slipknot and like Hellfest. And based off of that information, I expected them to be like, some hardcore, bordering on punk, maybe like an incendiary, but a little more punky is kind of what I was anticipating just based off of where I had heard the name. And then you listen to it and it's almost correct, but it's not even remotely close at the same time. Uh, and Matt, you gave a beautiful introduction to this album last episode. I literally have just been thinking about that every time I've listened to it. I'm like, oh, Matt literally described this album perfectly. Like it's Machine
Yeah.
Girl, but it's punk, but it's right up all of our alleys. Like, And it's crazy because they're like a horror punk rap duo, but horror rap is such a like Brother Lynch Hung is like the only person that can be truly called that, or like, early 3-6. Like but and so it's again one of those kind of just I mean much like Machine Girl and some of these other artists that we've covered, they're very hard to pigeonhole into a genre because there's such an amalgamation of a bunch of different ones. They've got Greg Puciato, formerly of Dillinger Escape Plan, doing vocals, but in that same vein they have songs where there's fucking break beats like it's an Aphex Twin album and all of this crazy shit. And so again, it's one much like I was talking about Crossings, where I had listened to these albums so much in the past month, But I really had to sit down last night and today and be like, now what's actually going on here? Let's actually figure out what the fuck's going on here and like pull up the Wikipedia pages and all of the, do some research and be like, what's actually happening? Because it's very intriguing. It really makes me want to go and listen to their other stuff, but holy shit, again, just like we've talked about, this is a great intro to this artist. And it will, if you have like a preconceived notion of what this band might be, much like I had, you're probably wrong. And listen to this because it's such a trip, but it's a trip and a treat. So very big fan. Thank you for bringing this up, Matt, because I don't know if I ever would have listened to it otherwise. Truly.
Same, same.
Yeah, I don't think I would have either, because I wouldn't have been in the know. That's what I love about this podcast is just finding out different albums, different artists. But yeah, it's definitely like you guys mentioned, it's like a fusion of like punk and rap, like horrorcore and like hardcore hip hop. I don't know. There's a bunch of different things you could call it, but it gives me a lot of like I was drawing back a lot of comparisons recently, and since we brought up Death Grips, kind
Mm.
of has that same vibe, that
Yeah.
same feel.
Yeah.
And I mean, I love it. Like, I love it. You get songs like "Okay, I'm Reloaded," where it's like borderline, like almost introing into like dubstep in a way. Like, it was giving me some like early like 2010s like Excision for some reason. Dorian, you probably relate. But
Yep. Very much
I was
so.
like, what the fuck? Like it's confusing. And then songs like Upside Down, where it's like more punk rock, and it's like, the drums, you get the guitar, everything else in it. So it's all over the place, but in the best way possible. And songs like Incline, love that song. That song has been on repeat recently when I've been going to the gym, when I've been on my way to work. I've just been bumping it. Which I wanted to say, I love the features on it. Nova Twins, Pink Sifu, and Young Skirt. Um, Danny Brown on any of these songs would be chef's kiss.
Yeah.
Would fucking snap, dude.
Yeah, would be
I
insane.
wonder if they've collabed. I almost feel like they
They've done
had
a
to
few
have.
collabs. I'm not sure about him, but I've seen a few other ones. Yeah.
Start a petition.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
should do
Change.org.
that right now.
it's got to happen. I think eventually it will, because I mean it's almost the same, very experimental, very different. I was telling Dorian I had to put my seatbelt on for this one because it's definitely interesting, definitely different. But I'm a fan. I'm a fan. Definitely got to listen to more their other work because they've been doing it for a while now. They've had a couple
Yeah.
months prior to this.
When I first saw their name on a lineup, I want to say it was like shit, damn near 10 years ago. I
Yeah,
don't think not I don't think
2014 at least is
yeah.
the earliest. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I think it was when like Knotfest, because Knotfest had a very like small run. And I think it
Mhm.
was when Knotfest was like getting really good to the fact that they were touring it. Is when I saw them. And I want to say that was like 17 or 18. So yeah, like I'm very interested now, like we said, but yeah.
Yeah, I think for us too, like this just resonates with what we talk about on this podcast. I know I kind of introduced the
Oh,
album that way, but like we all have our love and our likes, and like this blends a lot of that together. And you get a little bit of everything. You get that spoken word, you get the hip hop aspect, and you get kind of the anthem vibes, like the second track, Escape. That if that doesn't like sink you into this album and make you want to listen to more, then maybe you should just stop listening to the album because it's a great track. It goes for it and sets it all apart. And it's all unique, they get lots of different people collaborating. Chelsea Wolfe does that, great collaboration on Immortal. The way that song ends is almost like Viking-esque and kind of eerie and creepy. And a lot of the lyrics they have are, like you said, horror-esque, and they're just fun. This album goes all over the place. It's something new. It's something you wouldn't hear, and I'm glad that I stumbled across it and was able to share it with you guys because, like you both said, probably wouldn't have listened to this on our own. And this is a great
no.
album. I haven't really dove into their other discography, but I've heard a few other tracks, some of the collabs they've done, and they're good. It's not like it's bad at all. So give it a listen. It'll set something apart for you when it comes to music because these guys blend every genre. It's very Ministry-esque, with a little bit of hip hop in between. So
Yeah. If you're listening to this album and at any point before you reach the end, you want to jump out and stop, don't. because it's like, especially if you only get like 5 tracks in, because you can't, there isn't one track that defines this album, I feel like, because there's so much going on in a good way, obviously, that it's like you want to see the full project for what it is. I didn't even fucking think about the fact that Danny Brown would absolutely murder one of these tracks until Jake brought it up. And now I'm like, I want to go back and listen and figure out which one I would put him on this. And it's like you said, Matt, it's got something for everybody, I feel like. If you're a fan of this podcast, if there's one of us three where our particular circle of the Venn diagram that is all of our music tastes resonates with you, whether you're like, oh, Jake, I kind of like his music taste more, listen to this. If you like mine, listen to this. If you like Matt's, like, again, I think this is one that legitimately deserves to be listened to if you're a fan of this podcast. And I know we said that about all three of them, but I really think this one is, because it's such a fucking mind, it's such a trip, dude. It really is. It's
Yeah.
they're rappers, but they're
Yeah.
doing this. Like, you listen to I Miss Home, which is a great way to start off this album, by the way. Don't even get me started. But that's not a good indication of what this album is. And I don't mean that as a knock. It's like, oh, like this is about legacy. And you're like, oh, fuck, we're about to get into some bars. You are, but it's going to be wrapped in the craziest fucking packaging you ever seen. So listen to it till the end.
Yeah, it's intense, it's in your face, it's loud in all the best ways possible. And I love the lyrics about it too. It's very true to a lot of things going on right now. Songs like LA Riots, that lyrics behind that really spoke to me. I liked reading along to it, listening to it. It's like it's happening. It's all the shit that's going on right now. And then songs like Immortal, where Matt, you kind of said it. It's one of the calmer songs, which is a weird thing to say for an album like this. It's one of the calmer songs on the album, and it's Chelsea Wolfe. She does a great feature on it. And then you have the fast pace, upbeat songs like "Okay, I'm Reloaded." So it's a mix of everything. Yeah, like Dorian said, it's a mix of a bunch of different things that we love into an album. So yeah, there's like, why wouldn't we like it, right? So I'm definitely interested. I definitely have to go listen to a little bit more of their stuff.
Exactly. I
Yeah, it's
agree.
just a fun album. I'm glad you guys liked it and found some love for it. It's got everything you want, you know. But we can jump into
Absolutely.
top threes if you guys are ready.
Let's hit it. Hit me up, baby.
Woot. Honorable mention for me would be Immortal, just because it's a different track, kind of takes it back a step. It's a good collaboration between those two artists, and it just stands out for me. Number three would be Godflesh. I just like that track, kind of a good way to end the album as well. Number two would be Escape, another great track. It's got that punky vibe. It's the second track on the album. It gets it going. And then my favorite track was Upside Down.
Hey, yo, yeah, yeah. I will take it from there. I have two honorable mentions for this one just because I couldn't pick. First one for me is Escape. The breakdown in that song is fucking disgusting, which is the main reason why I had to make sure it was an honorable mention. Second one for me is Immortal. We talked about that one. The Chelsea Wolfe feature is very nice. I almost want to see if she has any other stuff out there, just because she has a very intriguing voice. Kind of Karina Round from Pussifer reminiscent. And we all know that we love her. Number three for me is Tapeworm with I think that's the one with Greg from Dillinger Escape Plan. Never really listened to them again. It's just a name I know from festival lineups and message boards. Um, but his voice, I was like, Jesus Christ, I might have to check out this guy's era of that group because he has a phenomenal voice. Number two for me, I mentioned it. I Miss Home. I think it's a great way to start off this album. And I don't know why, but like, I mean, it's very clear why, like the message behind that song where it's like, and this is about legacy and shit. It's like, shit, man. It is not indicative of what this album is, but Jesus Christ, it's a good way to start it off. And the number one for me is Psychic Jumper, just because it was kind of this, it's almost an outlier on this album because it's like if Flower Boy by Tyler the Creator was a harder album, in my opinion. Like the vocal on it, I don't know why, it just reminds me of like Flower Boy era Tyler the Creator. And so but I really liked, I kept coming back to that one. Big fan.
Oh
Sweet.
yeah. For me, honorable mention, I'm going LA Riots. Number three, Tapeworm. Number two, Okay, I'm Reloaded. And then my favorite track was Incline. I kind of have a hard time distincting who's doing what. I really don't hear the typical pink seafood that I do or young skirt. But I think they blend really well on that song.
Hell yeah. Matt, you've done it again. Brought up something we would never listen to, but god damn it, it was a banger. So you scallywag.
You.
Um, but hell yeah, man. That was 2025's Tomorrow We Escape by Horror, aka Ho99o9. Such an interesting way to do that. And it's not from a original cell phone keyboard. I looked it up. No idea. Anyway, that was Matt's pick for this wonderful episode 107 of Whatchu Spinnin'. We'll be right back to let you know what's coming in about 2 weeks' time, hopefully, for episode 108 of Whatchu Spinnin'. I'm Dorian, that's Matt, and that's Jake. It's been a hell of an episode, but stick around. Everybody's favorite part is right around the corner. Oh, yeah. Stick around. What's up, gang? Thanks for sticking around to the very end. We all know that this is at least our favorite part of every episode, other than getting to talk about what we have to bring to the table. I'm always interested to see what these cats are bringing and introduce to them what I'm bringing. I'm Dorian, that's Matt, and that's Jake. As per usual, we go in the order that we talked about today's albums in, which means Jake, you're up first. God damn it! So what the hell are you bringing? What the hell is that?
This is Pizza Select. I said it. I fucked that. Okay.
What in the
Restart.
hell?
This
All
is Pizza Hotline Level Select. Came out in 23. Some cool like house EDM. It's pretty unique. I got a lot of nostalgia from it. I feel like you guys will too. Yeah, Level
Nice.
Select by Pizza Hotline.
Well, I mean, there's a goddamn PS1 controller on the cover. Of course, I'm gonna get some nostalgia. You're gonna make me play fucking buy a PS5 and play Ape Escape and smoke an ounce of weed in a night. That sounds awesome. Super looking forward to that. Already we're off to a good start. Guess it's my turn. I don't own mine. But I am sticking with the hip hop because I noticed it's been a while since I've talked about some good hip hop. So I'm going about 10 years into the past to 2016. We haven't talked about this artist. I maybe we've mentioned him in passing, but I'm going with Schoolboy Q's Blank Face LP, which was released in 2016, which is one of my favorite albums that came out in the past 10 years. So yeah, some good old fashioned hip hop. Blank Face LP by Schoolboy Q.
Very cool. I'm gonna revisit an artist that I brought up a long ass time ago, probably when I first joined the podcast, probably one of the first few artists I brought up. And this is a live album, a post-humanist album. It's from 2000. It's called Mystery White Boy. It's by Jeff Buckley.
Fuck yes.
There you go.
That's awesome. I literally, as soon as you were like one of the first artists I brought up, I was like, oh, Sigaros, Godspeed, and then you hit me with the Jeffy. I did not see that coming, my man. Fucking Jeff Buckley.
Live Buckley is the best Buckley.
Oh
Yes.
yeah, I can only imagine, man. I've seen a little bit, but I haven't dove into this album, but I've heard that it's great. Holy shit, guys. We done did it again. We've made a perfect album today. We knocked it out of the park today. And by golly, we have set ourselves up to replicate it again in about 2 weeks' time. We've got Pizza Hotlines, Level Select, Schoolboy Q's, Blank Face LP, and the late great Jeff Buckley's Mystery White Boy, which I've heard is an absolute classic. I'm Dorian, that's Matt, and that's Jake. We are Whatchu Spinnin'. And we thank you for listening to our show, watching our show, telling everybody in the goddamn world that you meet about our show. We love it. We do it for the love of the game. We do not make money from doing this. It actually costs me money to do this podcast. So don't think that we're in it for money. We do it because we like to. Um, just want to plug some stuff, I'll go ahead and get our stuff out of the way. Go ahead and follow us on Instagram at Whatchu Spinnin, Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, everywhere you find podcasts, we are. So if you run into somebody and you're like, "Hey, you ever listen to Whatchu Spinnin?" Like, "No, I don't have Spotify," and it's like, "Well, hey, guess what, moron? We're on everything, so you don't have an excuse." The only thing we're not on is Patreon because we don't have anything extra to tell you. And our Patreon would get crazy because it'd be Matt and I talking about cards, Jake and I, doing Family Guy episode recaps or some bullshit like that. Um, no one wants to pay for that. Outside of that, follow me on Instagram at Dorian Dilly. And also, if you're in Lane County, I have been asked to sit in on bass with the Great Truffle Jam on May 1st at Monkey's Paw Tiki Bar. I believe the show starts at 7. We will have an episode between now and then, hopefully, so I will get you a time then. But come see me and my good pals in Truffle Jam play some fucking banging tunes. We were ripping some Herbie Hancock in practice this week. We were ripping some Grateful Dead, obviously, and some Fish. It's going to be a great time. They're partnering with Twitchy Tails Cat Rescue, who will be having a raffle event there. So come support a local cat rescue here in Lane County. But yep, Springfield Monkey's Paw Tiki Bar, May 1st. Come see me. And then Matt and I will have a table once again at I don't know what the fuck it's called, what
The
the event
Graduate,
is called.
the
No,
Graduate, the Graduate Hotel downtown. I'm not sure if
yeah,
it's a name or a title, but it's a card show. Come see us. Come
yeah.
see me. Yeah.
Come see me.
Come see
Yeah, we will be slinging cardboard once again, Matt and I. We've got some great
Marvelous.
stuff.
Marvelous will be there too with his One Piece setup. If anybody's into the One Piece. Yeah.
Ooh, yeah. Come see local musician Marvelous.
Local legend. And if you don't know, walk away, come back, and then he'll tell you who he
Yeah, and then
is.
he'll roast your ass in front of us, and it'll be awesome. But yeah, come see us at the Graduate June 27th from 11 to 5. Um, come talk to us about music. Come talk to us about cards. I won't personally be bringing any records, but I live right down the
I
street.
might.
So
Yeah.
if you wanna make a deal, hit me up. Um, yeah. Other than that, keep listening to the show. Support your local businesses, whether you're in Bend or Eugene. Stop in and say what's up to Callie at Moonrock Records as always. They're fucking fantastic. And then yeah, come see me in May and then follow Truffle Jam on Facebook. They've actually got a stacked lineup. And then if you're into jam bands, Garcia Birthday Band has 2 shows in Eugene between now and June. So yep, this is Whatchu Spinnin. We love you all. I love these fellas. I'm Dorian. That's Matt and that's Jake. Stay safe out there. Have a good fucking day. Peace.